Hey guys, hope you're well. My name is Rob. Welcome to Kinetic Rugby League. In this video, I'll be giving you my Super League Grand Final predictions. I'll leave a recap of last week up on the screen for you now. There's 2 out of 2 from last week. That's 126 out of 167 for a percentage so far of 75.45%. So, last thing I'll say before I get on with things, there's likely to be one more video, like a Super League 2024 season review. But as far as predictions videos go, obviously this is the last one of the season, and with this has come a lot of support and a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new people interacting in the comments down below, which is greatly appreciated. So to all newcomers and people that were here from last year as well, thank you very much for stopping by. It does mean a lot. But yeah, for the final time this season, let's get on with the game this week. In the grand final, we have the Wigan Warriors taking on the Hull Kingston Rovers. Starting with the league position from the Super League regular season, Wigan finished the season in first, Hull KR finished in second. In terms of recent form, including the playoffs, Wigan have won 5 in their last 5 Super League games, Hull KR have won 4 in their last 5 Super League games. For power rankings, I still have Wigan in first and still have Hull KR in second. So starting with Wigan, they are the fastest attack in Super League, pretty clearly. Now Hull KR are great at what they do. They attack the short sides very well, but in terms of the speed, being able to attack both sides as well for Wigan, they're the fastest to do it in the league at the moment. Also, another great thing for them is that their forwards are huge and they get through a hell of a lot of work. So even in situations where it does look like they might be pinned back inside their own 10 or 20, a lot of the players in the backs do a lot of hard work in the middle, but the forwards, they know how to beat teams up and they can kind of get out of any traps that teams set up. Now, shifting to Hull KR in that regard, I think the way that they pinned Warrington back last week was very good. The kicking game from Mikey Lewis was very simple. It was the same thing again and again and again. It was just going to the short side, kicking high, putting Duffy and Thulis under pressure. They can do that to Miskey, they can do that to Marshall, they can do it to Jay Field, but the forwards are eventually, I think, going to beat up Hull Kingston Rovers. Maybe not overwhelmingly so, but I think they'll get the upper hand on them just because of the size difference and kind of the level of production that we've seen from them so far this season. Now, there's a few things that I want to talk about in terms of grand finals specifically, because the grand final always feels like a different game. It's always very conservative, not trying to give too much away. It does appear to be very one-dimensional, which may suit Hull Kingston Rovers if they want to have that plan again with just going to Mikey Lewis, kicking into the corners. That might be fine for Hull Kingston Rovers. That might be the way to go. Another thing for Hull KR, though, is I think their goal line defence last week was excellent. Like we saw, Warrington had plenty of goals, especially down the left-hand side. Hull Kingston Rovers really, really solid defensively. There were a few too many errors in that game for them, put themselves under a lot of pressure, but in terms of penalties, especially in tight field position, there weren't too many. So there was some in Warrington's end, but close in front of the goal line, discipline was pretty good from Hull Kingston Rovers. Now, what are they going to do with Hadley and Minchella? Minchella being available, Hadley was fantastic in their third-team role against Warrington. Maybe Hadley starts. You know, they've had a few weeks to prepare without him, so what do? Maybe they start Minchella. That's what I assume they'd start Minchella. Hadley would be on the bench, maybe playing the second row position. We'll see. We'll see what they do, but Hadley was fantastic. So do they want to lose that kind of energy through the middle? 59 tackles, I think it was, against Warrington. We'll see. I'm not the head coach, so I won't be making that decision. But the 3 things that I look at when it comes to a grand final, specifically because it is so different. Number 1, experience. Now that covers a lot of other nuanced things, other little things that come up throughout the game, but experience is a huge factor. That's number 1. That does lean in favour of Wigan, pretty clearly. Not just club-wise, but player-wise. Number 2 is the kicking game. Because it can be very conservative, it's just a lot of kicking back and forth. That is the very basic rugby league style. It's just 5 hits and a kick. So we're going to see a lot of that. And I think in terms of the kicking game and the overall structure, the kick chases, the defensive work off the back of it, I think Wigan are the best team at it at the moment. So that's another one in favour of Wigan. And the third one, because teams are so conservative, they don't like to throw the ball around too much. They don't want to show the hand. And it was a little bit like that with Hull KR and Warrington. It's a little bit basic at first. it comes down to the line break threat. So because teams aren't willing to put together set plays, teams are usually pretty scared very early on in grand finals. I think if there are individuals that can break lines, they're the difference makers. So of course you've got Mikey Lewis for Hull Kingston Rovers, but then you've got the best in the league in Bevan French for Wigan, and even Jay Fielder with his pace as well. And then players with size that are able to do it, like Junior and Semba over on the left-hand side, and the meters that Wardle and Marshall can eat up over on that edge as well. I think that's another thing in favour of Wigan. And those three feel to me to be the most important thing when it comes to a grand final. So, with all that being said, both teams are great defensively, both teams are great in attack, but in terms of experience, kicking game, and the line break threat, they all lean towards Wigan. So I'm going to go with Wigan Warriors 18, Hull Kingston Rovers 14. So that is going to be it for this Super League 2024 season as it relates to these prediction videos. This has been fun. Thank you very much for stopping by. But if you would like to become a member of the channel and support the work that I do and join people like Lloyd Elias, you can click the join button just below this video and become a member today. But that is going to be it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.